What is up, everybody? My name is Campea, one half of Team Amasian, and joining me to my right is by far the better half of Team Amasian, Miss Kaori Takee.
Hey, what's up, guys? But I am by no means the better half, and joining me is Kaori Takee,
our honorary member for tonight. She's
Yes.
definitely more than welcome to join us anytime she wants.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say one big thing, a way to a woman's heart is to like or have a dog.
Yes, didn't we say that last week?
Yes, and this is just a reiteration.
But before we get any further, this is the third installment of Speak Nerdy to Me, where Team Amasian activates to talk about relationship advice. We're getting a lot of questions, so it's really exciting, and we're interacting with all of our fans in the chat on YouTube. So we decided to pull a lot of those questions out and address them tonight.
Yeah, and thank you for all those questions and those comments. We love thinking about these things, and it helps us think about what we want in a man as well.
Yeah.
Or why we make those decisions that we do.
Yeah, I guess I can't look further than what I've got. I mean, I am married. But yeah, definitely, it makes you think about things, put things into perspective. Wakame, unfortunately, cannot answer any of the questions, which I'm sure she would be more than interested in doing so, but she's definitely going to be here and reinforce the fact that you gotta love dogs if you want to date.
You do. So if you hear some panting, that is where it's coming from. She's resting right now.
Aw,
But let's get to it.
All right. So our first question, in no particular order that we pulled, comes from Andrew Ross. And he says, "Hey, Team Amasian, love the show. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I've been dating a woman for a year and a half now and try my hardest to treat her like a queen. Take care of her, be there for her, etc. And at random to show her how special she is. But she stays distant and like she doesn't care to lose me, but doesn't say it's over. Is that a sign to step away and let go or hang back and keep trying to work through it?" Kaori, do you want to start with this one?
That's a really, really tough one, because I would say for the most part, if you are giving her all those things, if she is as into you as you are, she should be as receptive. However, every person is different and everyone reacts differently and everyone demonstrates their love differently. So I can't really tell you to step back or not. That's really up to you and how much you are willing to handle. Like, if it hurts you the way she treats you, then that might be time for you to step back. But if you're okay and you're giving willingly and don't expect anything in return and you love doing these things for her, then you're enjoying yourself too. So why not? I guess I can say.
And how long, I didn't recall, how long were they together in this? Let's look at this again. For a year and a half.
A year and a half
quite
is a long time. Like at that age, at that stage, you might know what you want out of the relationship. So are you getting what you want from this relationship? Is she giving you the affection you need? That's something you should consider.
And it's also important to, I don't want to use analyze because I know women do that all the time, but has anything changed? I mean, maybe a year and a half ago, whatever you were doing for her was being reciprocated, and maybe at some point it's changed. Maybe there's other things outside of that, what you're doing for her, in her attitude, in the way she looks at you. Whatever it is, maybe there's other elements of the relationship that have changed. And unfortunately, that's kind of just how relationships go.
Yeah.
Relationships are work. Let me just start off by saying that. I never hated Ben Affleck for that Oscar speech he gave where he talked about Jennifer Gardner and how their marriage is work, because he's being honest and people were hating on him for that. But it's very true.
It is a lot of work, and a lot of successful relationships, none of them were sitting pretty on cloud nine through the whole way. There's no way, because the more fight you put, the more glorious it is. So, I leave that up to you. If basically, I can't gauge how she feels about you because I don't know the interaction, but you have to ask yourself, well, how much are you getting out of this relationship? Is it what you want? And discuss it with her. And if it's not if you're not happy enough with what you're getting, then you might want to consider taking yourself pulling back, or
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on what you just said, because I think communication is key. So if you're feeling that something's changed, or maybe what you're doing for your girlfriend is not being reciprocated, then bring it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't hurt to bring it up. And I'm not saying like bring it up and be angry when you bring it up.
Yeah,
but
please don't be angry.
A nice sit down conversation. And if she cares enough about you, she will be willing to listen in a civilized manner to what you have to say and how you feel. And I know for men, it's sometimes awkward to express your feelings, especially to the person that you love. I mean, I know it's such an odd concept because you should be able to talk freely with them, but there's always going to be this kind of how am I being perceived? No matter if it's your girlfriend or boyfriend or just a friend or anyone that you meet at work, whatever it is, you're always going to have kind of that wall in front of you of if what am I saying? Is it going to be received the way that I am intending for it to be?
Yeah.
So, bring it up to her if you feel confident enough to do that. She might just say, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I was doing that. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
And things go back to the way they were.
Absolutely.
Or that could be opening the door for her to express her feelings about why she thinks things have changed.
Sorry, my dog farted.
Oh. I'm like,
wasn't me.
Kaori. But yeah, just communicate, please. I mean, I'm not saying throw it all away yet. I always think give it a little bit of effort before you decide that it's not for you. Because there's obviously a reason why you've been together for a year and a half.
Yeah, that's some really good advice, Anne. I piggyback on her and repeat what she said.
Ditto, ditto, ditto. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here. And that comes from Clovis 2012. So this person writes, here's my question. I've dated a few Asian women. Oh, how funny, because we are both Asian. So this is a perfect question for us.
That's a great question for us.
And they all seemed obsessed with money. Why is that? Even the ones that weren't rich and lived a modest lifestyle still seem to judge me based on how much I made. I have an MBA and make a very good living, but they kept pushing for me to get a better job. Is that a cultural thing, or are all Asian women this way? Do you want to start this one off?
That's
Asian woman.
You know what? What's tough is when you, in parentheses, it says they were Korean. And it went ding, 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 ding. But no. I really don't think all Asian women are that way. Anne and I are definitely not that way. And a lot of my friends who are Asian are not that way. But here's my suspicion is a lot of times birds of a feather flock together. And you might be surrounded in a particular area where these types of Asian women have the same ideals. So if you do happen to like Asian women, but you don't like that particular mindset, you might want to look for a more low-key Asian woman. They exist, such as myself and Anne.
Yeah.
I've actually never dated a really rich guy, nor have I ever wanted that in particular. Mm-hmm. Like we've mentioned in past videos, what we really like in a man is a guy to have ambition and passion for something. But I don't necessarily think it's a cultural thing as much as it's a social thing. So it might be the social setting that you're in at this particular moment. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. The only other thing I could think about that has to do with why you keep getting stuck with these women, and not that they're bad women, because there's probably a guy out there who would absolutely love to be with this type of woman. Maybe it's a quality in this guy.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I'm assuming it's a male, but maybe it's a quality in you. Maybe there's something that you do or that you look or whatever that is attracting this same type of woman to you.
That's true.
And quite honestly, I think it doesn't have anything to do with the girls being Asian. I think Kaori's right in saying that you probably just hang out or are in a circle of friends where all these women happen to be the same. I think that can easily be broken if you just leave that social circle or leave the area that you go hunting for women at. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so one, I don't think it's an Asian thing, but two, I don't know, maybe you should stop carrying your money on your outside pocket or something. I have no idea. Maybe
they smell your money.
Maybe your first line to them shouldn't be, hey, I'm really rich or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think Kaori's right. It's probably just where you're at, who you're hanging out with.
Mm-hmm. The kind of network that's been built, but good luck with that.
Yes, good luck. Next question. It's from Mario Flores, and he asks, I recently quit my job because it wasn't making me happy, even though it made me a lot of money in the oil field. Since then, I've been shy to talk to women because I feel like I have nothing to offer at the current moment. Do girls care about me being jobless, and is it a turnoff? P.S. I'm looking for a job, just haven't found one yet, aka I'm not a bum. We kind of had a similar question to this last time, I think.
Yeah, it does kind of piggyback off the previous question about whether money is important or is an agent there or whatnot. I don't think that for me it's necessarily a deal breaker if a man that I meet has no job, so much as if he's egotistical asshole. But you know, I'm sure you have other things to offer that aren't necessarily green money, but you know, and the fact that you said that you are actively looking for a job, that's something that's very important. That goes along the lines that we keep bringing up, passion and ambition. So I think you probably do have other things to offer, and the right woman will see that.
Yeah, I agree. As I want to know more about what you did on the oil field, to be honest with you. I mean, that's intriguing in itself. And to know that you worked at that type of job, and to know that you are kind of just on a break and maybe you left it because for whatever personal reasons or whatever. But I think I know a lot of men, a lot of good friends of mine that either are unemployed or have jobs that they're not very happy about. They don't make very much money or whatever. But these are great guys. Why? Because one, they're engaging. They have great personalities, all that awesome stuff. And two, for me, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if I met somebody and they said I'm unemployed, as long as like Kaori said, as long as you show that you have ambition towards something, whether you're going to school, maybe you quit your job because you want to change in your career. Those are the things that we're seeking. It's when you're unemployed and you're sitting on the couch and you don't talk about what the future is for yourself. Those kinds of red flags come up, then maybe you're not the guy that we would look for.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anne. And I also think that it's important that, you know, we don't know your backstory, why you don't have a job. Did you lose your job because the economy sucks, because your company's cutting losses? And there's some very good companies that are actually, they have to cut people out that are very, very, very valuable, and that's unfortunate. Or are you leaving the job because you have a passion? Whatever the case may be, no one can fault you for that, as long as you, outside of the workplace, you continue to have a strong heart and look for something that you strive for. I mean, that's what's important.
And so maybe the first few dates have to be at McDonald's or whatever. You can't really do the kinds of things that you normally would like to do with your
McDonald's
date.
on my first date, though.
But you have.
That's true.
We all heard that story. But yeah, you know, I know it's kind of frustrating that you probably won't be able to take the woman to the things that you typically like to go to or whatever. But you know, if you're that ambitious guy that's already looking for another job, that's only going to last a little while. And I think the girl can be very understanding too. And the last point I want to bring up is, who says the woman you're going to meet is going to be as far ahead in her career as you are? I'm trying to say is that not all women are at where they want to be at in terms of their career and what their passion is. So the same can be said for us, is that you may very well meet a woman when you finally have a job, or when you're still unemployed, who is either in the same boat or maybe needs a little push from you in terms of finding her passion and learning how to be ambitious.
Absolutely.
And I think because of the way you portrayed your situation, I think you're the type of person that could help that woman out as well.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one comes from Braxton Mandy. He asks, why do some women base their relationship expectations on the storylines they see in their favorite romantic movies? I'm going to start with this.
Yeah, please do.
That's because men are supposed to be exactly like how Ryan Gosling is in The Notebook. Done.
I disagree.
No?
No, I'm actually an anti-fan of rom-coms. You're right that they have a lot of, they depict romance in a gravely exaggerated fashion. Then that's probably why most of the time I don't like rom-coms, because they make me feel sad that would never happen to me. I don't think most women have those kind of expectations. But if you really think that they do, then maybe you should try to be that romantic and snatch yourself a really good woman.
Or find a woman that hates romantic comedies or romantic movies or whatever. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, I don't know anyone that operates in that way. They might be like that because they're not experienced themselves. So what they see in the movies is the only thing that they know. And that can be said for a man or a woman. It's unfortunate if they set those expectations based on what they see in a film, because as we both know, because we've seen so many movies, don't believe anything you see in a film.
And keep in mind that these women that are in these movies are crazy. These women in these rom-coms are women that I would never hang out with in real life.
And their expectations are here.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I can stretch my arm there, in terms of what they're asking for from a man.
Yeah.
But to go on the other side of this, it does remind women, especially women in a relationship, that, you know, you do kind of need those instances of passion or romance, and not necessarily to the scale of what the film is, but, you know, just a reminder, flowers or whatever, that you're special to that other person.
That's true.
But that's not, you know, it's not like a very high expectation to have.
That's true. It is just very important to show your woman that you care, and it doesn't have to be so extravagant. But there's many fashions and many ways, even as simple as saying good morning to her every morning or something like that.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Find a woman not at the theater, and we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah, as long as she's not crying and sobbing in the theater watching one of those movies, you're good to go.
Yeah. Maybe, how about you meet a chick watching Expendables 3 or Superman, Batman or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you'll find the girl that you're looking for. All right, so the next question is from Unicycle Peon. I love this question. Okay, so I read this a little while ago, so I'm excited to answer this.
Okay.
How big can an age gap be, whether you are the older or the younger person, before it becomes a deal breaker? And I am not talking about the younger person being super young. Let's say that male or female, the younger person is 29 to 30 years old or older. What kind of age gap bothers you? Do you find your personal age gap tolerance for others, or tolerance for yourself, differs much from what you find bothersome in other couples? That's a great question. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
I think you want to start.
Well, I mean, I have to be a little biased because before I started dating and then eventually marrying John, I always thought that a man should be older than me. Not by that much, though. I always thought maybe a year, 2 years, something within that range was perfect for me. I thought being the same age or close to the same age would mean that we would have kind of the same interests. We would grow up in the same time, so maybe the same personality, whatever. So all of those things were kind of clouding my judgment on the whole age gap, age range thing. I'm not the best person to ask this question to now, because John and I have a 12-year gap, if you guys didn't know that. So that doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter to me. So I have to say, before I married John, I always thought it was weird if the man was younger than you, one, and if he was ridiculously older than you. But now that I'm married to a man who's 12 years my elder, I don't even feel the age gap at all. I think that we match perfectly. I think our interests are very similar. There are maybe some things that he brings up that he watched when he was a child that I've never seen. Like, those are kind of the differences, but it's nothing major to the point of, what did we talk about last week? Deal breaker. There are no deal breakers in terms of the age gap that I'm experiencing in my marriage. But some other people might think it differently. I mean, I talk to my friends all the time, and I kind of have to smile when they bring up age gap and how gross it is for somebody to be 10, 12, 15, 20 years older than their spouse or their boyfriend or girlfriend. Because now I just have to giggle about it because I am one of those people, and I don't have a problem with it now. Thoughts?
Okay. So I've never dated someone who is exponentially or substantially older than I am or younger than I am. I used to tell myself I don't want to date a guy who is younger than me, but it happens, and the man that I've loved the most ever was younger than me. Not by much, but like a year. But I think what it really comes down to is where you are in life, and if you guys are at the same lifestyle / level, then it can work out. The only thing I would say, however, is I would be creeped out by dating a man who is as old as my father or older.
Yeah.
That is something that I wouldn't be able to pursue, but that's really up to you.
Yeah. I'm not going to judge per se.
Yeah.
But I do think Hugh Hefner looks kind of funny with his wife.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say why.
But yeah, I don't think age gap should really matter so long as you guys are in the same place in life. Now, if you're a very successful businessman and you dating a girl straight out of high school who's very impressionable, doesn't know anything, and like has so much to learn, that feels a little creepy. It feels a little creepy, but again, this is just from an outsider's perspective. We don't know what the works are inside. Just as like a lot of people were creeped out when Demi Moore was dating Ashton Kutcher or married him, and a lot of these cougars are going on. And by the way, I find it strange that there's that like double standard where it's really weird when an older woman dates a younger guy,
Yeah.
but vice versa, no one really talks about it.
So true.
You
I know. I don't know why. It is the way it is.
Yeah, it's tragic. You've got Alec Baldwin dating Laurie Baldwin, who they have a huge age gap. No one complains about that. But then you have Sharon Stone dating a guy half her age, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, but she's hot.
Yeah.
But anyway, distracted. My dog farted again. Yeah, I don't think an age gap is a big deal so long as you guys have the same mindset and place in life, and you guys truly care about each other. Then why should anyone stop you? However, like if I came home with a guy who's older than my dad, I'm like, hey dad, this guy is your age, I think that would creep him out.
Yeah.
But
amen.
Yeah.
Ditto to all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question comes from Carlos Corona. Says that I'm dating a Filipino woman, but I'm a Mexican. So my question is, why is her family disapproving of me? And why is she so difficult to please? I have a light complexion, served in the military, and I'm almost complete with my education. It's a battle.
But here's a question that I've got to ask, and I'm sorry if you were planning on jumping on that, and I just kind of went for it.
No, go for it.
Are you implying that the reason why you guys are having issues is because she's Filipino and because you're Mexican? Or are you struggling with maybe her family is uncertain because you still haven't graduated yet or done all those things that they're accepting of? So maybe just give it some time, because it might not be a racial issue. So I'm not quite sure if I understand if your question is talking about because she's Filipino and because you're Mexican, or is it because of where you are in life that they're not approving?
Sounds like there's a lot of things going on in that one question that he put up. A lot of, I think, maybe insecurities about how he's being perceived by the family. He could be right. I mean, I have experienced in the past where my parents haven't liked a boyfriend based on race. And it's a really unfortunate thing to have happen, because you want your parents to love your boyfriend or girlfriend. Of course. I mean, it just makes things that much more awesome, unless you just hate your parents and have a bad relationship altogether. That's a different story. But for the most part, when your parents are accepting of who you're dating, that always makes things a lot better in the relationship. It's just unfortunate if the case is that you are in a relationship where the parents are basing their perception of you on race. I really hope that's not the case.
I hope so too. I hope for you it's not like that at all. That's why I'm questioning it. But I have faith that, if you're a good man, within time, her parents will understand, hey, she's with the good person. She's with someone that can really take good care of her. And that all that kind of stuff can get overlooked. Stereotypes can go away.
And come on, Filipino parents are so impressionable. Like, you just have to bring lumpia and learn a few words in Tagalog and say mabuhay every time you come in through the door. Do a lot of things that you would, whether your girlfriend's Filipino, white, black, whatever. And the parents should hopefully learn to respect and love and understand who you are as a person, not by the color of your skin.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right. So,
all right.
Next question comes from Cy Blakemore. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. This person asks, there's this girl I've talked to who I really like, and I asked her out a few times. She always says I'm not ready yet because the last relationship she was in had her heart broken, and her friends say to me that she's shy. I just want to know, is there anything more I can do apart from talking to help her take the plunge and go out with me? That's really cute.
That is really cute. And based on my experience, this is the thing, like, again, when I respond to these questions, I'm saying these based on how I perceive, when I say that to a man, how I'm feeling. So this might not be her, so please don't take offense to this, but if I'm telling a guy that I'm not ready, for the most part, it's because the broken relationship is either super fresh, so give it time, or I'm just not that into you, and you're already in the friend zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I know I've used that line before too.
Yeah.
Just to let somebody down easily. I think you're absolutely right with those two things. I mean, how far out from the relationship did she just, I don't know if he indicated how, like, if it was a 1 month breakup or just a few days or what, but that would definitely speak volumes as to why she's saying that. The fact that her friends are saying she's shy, that could definitely be the issue, but even shy girls will pursue guys that they like.
Or be receptive to a guy that's pursuing her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would have to go with you on this one. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
And hopefully we're wrong.
I really hope we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe since you kind of have an in with the friends, maybe you could just ask them to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I hate seeing my friends when they waste time on women when I know the woman is clearly giving signs that they don't want.
Yeah, and I mean, and from that question that you posed, it does sound like you have asked her friends and you have pursued her enough for her to know that she's interested, that you're interested, excuse me. So if she wants to respond to that, it is pretty much her cue. So give her some space, make her think about you instead of continuously pursuing her, because now she knows, hey, you know what, it's in the bag, he's around, you're in the friend zone. So
that's so true.
Yeah, just take a couple steps back and see how she responds to that. See if she misses you at all.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one more question, you guys, and these have been awesome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. We like them. Okay,
so the last question for this installment is, can I ask you guys for some advice? Someone said on your relationship video that they are awkward and don't know what to say to a girl if you like them. I'm the same way. I'm not very good in social situations. Can you say anything else that you didn't mention? Mm-hmm. Also, do you think it's ever possible to first meet a girl on Twitter and then date her in person one day? I would say, at least for the Twitter portion of it, definitely possible. Yeah. People are meeting people on I don't want to say Craigslist because that kind of creeps me out, but that does happen. Every form of social media, there is a relationship portion if you're seeking relationships on Craigslist, isn't
or like
there?
Lost Encounters.
Yeah, and stuff. Yeah. There's a ton of things. I mean, John and I met by chatting on his blog, you know, on the movie blog. So it's just, you just never know. The only thing you have to be cautious about when you meet people online, of course, is are they really the person that they're saying that they are.
Or are they what they look like in pictures? Because there's such thing as false advertisement,
right,
on Match.com and such.
Oh, totally. I mean, you show up and the guy's like 50 years old, and his picture is like when he was 21 or something.
And ladies, if you guys are watching, always, and men too, I guess, for those crazy ladies out there, always let your friends know where you're going, and give them a location of where you're going to be. And if they don't hear from you a certain hour, then it's something to worry about. Like, that's what I do.
Totally. But, I think we both agree that there's definitely nothing wrong with meeting somebody on Twitter.
And it's very possible.
Going out on a date and even being in a relationship with somebody that way. Let's go back to the first part of it where they're talking about what we talked about in the last installment.
How to feel less awkward?
Yeah.
I mean, we did say just be yourself, and, the awkwardness comes out and is cute and stuff. You know what? Another suggestion, this may sound a little bad, but take a shot of whiskey or something. Just take one shot and go for it.
Yeah.
Do
something to loosen yourself up a little bit. Something
that will loosen you up and calm you down. Take her out on an activity that you really feel comfortable enjoying. If you really like French food and you know a lot about French food, take her to a French restaurant. If you like action movies and you feel comfortable talking about that after the movie, take her to go see an action movie. Be in a social setting that you're already comfortable with to begin with.
Right.
So you already have that foundation.
Right.
So you can kind of up your image in front of her, and that will make you feel more comfortable.
And also, I think my suggestion would be to think about where you feel the most comfortable with yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you communicate the best over playing World of Warcraft and using the headset to talk to people, maybe that's kind of either the place that you need to meet people through, or maybe that's what you need to be thinking about to make yourself feel comfortable when you are in a social setting where you can meet other women or other men. Just think about how you are when you feel the most comfortable with yourself, and try to be that person in those situations.
Yep. I like that one.
So that will do it for us. That is all the questions. Thank you guys so much. These were a lot of fun, and we hope that we continue to get a lot more of these types of questions. We love it. Again, like Kaori said, this is just our perspective. We're not telling you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Everything that we're saying is based on our experience, and we just want to share that with you. And whatever you end up doing, we just wish you the best of luck in those situations. Wakame is also wishing you all good luck in your relationships, because we think everybody deserves to be in love and be loved.
And keep pursuing and enjoy that journey of love, because that's the greatest gift that, God gives us. It really is.
Yeah.
A journey of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just here to help you through those difficult scenarios.
It's like it's the most unpredictable thing in life.
It totally is.
Is love. I mean, so it's awesome.
And that being said, continue to post your questions on our YouTube chat board. Let us know what you guys think of this video. We love to chat with you guys. We love to answer your questions, and it's your questions that will spur the topics for our next segment as well. So we look forward to seeing those. Until next time, everybody, my name's Ann Campea. You could follow me at Ann Campea. Kaori?
You can find me at Kaorious, as well as Wakame Takee. She's featured on some of my videos.
Yeah. She probably has like 10 times more followers than we do too.
You know, right?
And you can follow both of us at Team Amasian. Tweet us, message us, let us know your thoughts on this week's video.
I'll see you later, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.